We tested all the Shimano 12-speed chains before, and that hasn't been too much work because mounting them on an EMTB, riding with lots of motor resistance, we've worn them out quite quickly. Now though, we are testing a KMC chain, KMC E10, and a Shimano 10-speed E6090. So both of these are e-bike specific chains. The problem with testing a 10-speed chain is that they are much more durable, and presumably being an e-bike specific chain, they're even more durable. Unfortunately, we don't really have an EMTB with a 10-speed drivetrain, and all the demo bikes we get, they're basically almost exclusively 12-speed. So we had to outsource the job to a neighbor. We mounted the chain on her commuter bike, so it's a non-e-bike, and it's mostly riding roads, so it's been exposed to much less stress than what we usually do in our chain tests. So comparing durability of the 10-speed chains against the 12-speed chains, it doesn't make any sense because they've been riding under completely different conditions on different kind of bikes. Anyway, here is the Shimano chain. It's got a bit of flex, as you can see. Here is the KMC 10-speed chain. Yeah, still a bit of flex here too. So what does the flex mean? I don't know. But it's good to have a chain that allows for some sideways movement when shifting under load, especially on an EMTB. So we weighed the chains at some kind of length, I believe like 110-ish full links. 240 for the KMC chain, 270 grams approximately for the Shimano chain. And we checked the prices, just Googling it, bike24.com, and it was 25 euros for both chains. So the way we perform this test is we usually measure and cut the chains to the correct length, and then we split them in two. And we take one KMC chain and one Shimano chain and join them together and install them on the bike. Before we install them, we measured pre-stretch. I mean, how much has the chain stretched out of factory? The KMC showed 0. The Shimano about 0.2 to 0.3 millimeters of stretch. And when I say 0.2 millimeters, it's basically the same in percent, because we are measuring over 4 full links, which is 101.5 millimeters. So a bit of pre-stretch on the Shimano chain. Does it matter? I don't know, but it's good to know when we measured the end result. We have to deduct the initial stretch. Both chains will be ridden under the exact same conditions, and they will receive the same amount of maintenance and care, which in our case, in these tests, usually is basically nothing. Very little lube, very little washing. We want to finish this test as soon as possible. But it took a while. These chains have been ridden 2,500 kilometers. The KMC chain, it was stretched to about 0.08 millimeters. Judging by the KMC digital chain stretch guide, we should be at about 0.8, so 10 times the stretch, before they declared the chain to be excessively worn. The Shimano chain, 0.23 to 0.29. We measured the chains over several spots, and a few highest measurements, we decided that was the result. On the Shimano chain, we have to deduct the initial stretch, so about 0.25 on the Shimano chain, so approximately a third into its lifespan. So we're expecting the Shimano chain to go another 5,000 kilometers. Based on previous experience, the chain wear seems to be quite linear, but there is no guarantee. And looking at the KMC chain again, 0.08 stretch, that's like a tenth into the lifespan of the chain. But there are other factors that will kill a chain, not just the stretch. So I guess the plates on the chain, side plates, might get damaged and weak inevitably. So even though it could seem it's en route to 20,000 kilometers, it might get killed by rust or just simply snapping. And if you're bothered by rust, KMC gave us an EPT chain. We mounted the 10-speed version on a bike I had for like almost a year. We removed the SRAM X1 chain, which was probably a year old and had seen little maintenance, and that was a bit rusty. I mean, the bike, it wasn't ridden that much. It was basically left outside during the winter. So we installed the EPT chain. We didn't measure any stretch, but riding it a bit, leaving it outside with basically no maintenance, and the chain still looked great weeks and months later. So I think there could be something to that EPT coating on the chain links that prevents the rust, and it could be a good idea if you go with the KMC chain, because it might not be the stretch that kills that chain. It could very well be rust. 33 euros at bike24.com for that chain, so may or may not be worth it. Anyway, the results of these tests are pretty clear. Based on just chain stretch, it seems the KMC chain will last at least twice as long as the Shimano, perhaps even 3 times as long, provided there's nothing else killing it. But I think the Shimano chain is doing well. 7,000 to 8,000 kilometers on one chain, that's quite a lot, and I would be happy with that. But yeah, it's up to you. The KMC appears to be way more durable. That's it. Appreciate any likes and subscribes. Thanks for watching.